And we're live. Welcome to episode 15 of the RetroSlot podcast. This week featuring UN Squadron, the game that broke up my marriage and shot my dog. I think I guess I'll wait till later in the show to talk about UN Squadron, but Jesus Christ.
Briar's one of those people who doesn't shy away from the jokes that may make other people uncomfortable.
Those are the only jokes I know. The other ones I remember. How are you, man? How you been?
Good. It's been eventful couple of weeks.
Yeah?
We got some family pictures taken with the
Like
kids and
professionally?
everything. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
like with a photographer. Did you go to a studio or did they come to you?
no, so we went to a park.
Okay.
And we did it a couple of years ago before our youngest was born. It was like pregnancy photos and stuff. And she's the sister of a college friend of my wife's, but she is a professional photographer. She does a really good job, and I'm really particular about that stuff actually.
Okay.
And there's kind of a weird story there too, where she lived with us for like 6 months, but that's something different. But yeah, so we know her. She's kind of a friend and professional photographer. She does a great job. So I know that you do photography stuff, but I don't know
I
if
do.
you do like family
No.
photography?
God, no. I don't have that kind of patience. I don't have that kind of I don't know, what's the equivalent of bedside manner for a photographer? I do sports photography. So a lot of the times it's me on the sidelines shooting live action, and a lot of times it's me with a team lined up and getting them through as fast as I can so they can get out in the field. So there's very little like personal interaction needed.
I was gonna say you don't deal with children very much, but then I was like, well, wait,
Yeah.
kind of do. I felt bad
Those
for
lucky
her.
bastards.
Yeah. I felt bad for her because the kids were great until about the last 20 minutes or so. We were trying to get stuff and they were starting to do the meltdown thing, like
Yeah.
hungry, tired, and
Yeah.
just trying to like Theo was just like throwing flowers on the ground and then getting upset that the flowers were broken. Like, dude, you're the one who did it.
Yeah.
You know? And then the baby girl was just like starting to do the thing where she hangs on you and like, like she's like, all right, I think we're done. Like,
Yeah. I get that a lot with kids like crying or having a temper tantrum, and I always tell the parents, take the picture. If you don't like it, we do like reshoots for free. So if you get a picture you don't like, we'll come right back out and we'll do another picture in 2 weeks. Maybe the kid's in a better mood, but you might like the picture because it captures a moment in time that you will remember forever. And when this kid graduates high school and you're looking for those pictures to put in the yearbook, you're gonna have a really good one here.
Yeah, no, we like those pictures, like, because I'll just like laugh when the kid's doing something that's just very typical because it's just how it is, the kid melting down and I'm laughing. I guess that's a dad thing to do, right? Like
I think
the mom's looking all stressed out and the dad's just laughing.
I don't know. I think it's a personality thing. Sometimes moms just kind of handle it fine. I've seen a lot of people like yell at their kids who are crying. Like, that's not going to help. Like, there's no way that's going to get this job done.
We don't yell. We just kind of look at each other like, well,
yeah, this is happening.
What's happening right now?
You play any good games lately? What have you been doing for game time?
I played Outriders for a while. I didn't even really talk about it, but had a good time playing through the story of that. And I'm trying to find the motivation to go back and play some of the end game stuff, but
yeah,
I'm not sure if I will. We'll see. What about you?
It's not grabbing you it's not like addiction level grabbing you.
Well, I was thinking about it last night. I was talking about it on stream, and you think about a game like Destiny, and one of the things that keeps people coming back is just the variety of activities. You think about it, it's like, okay, well, I don't really feel like doing PvP today. I'm gonna do strikes, or if I don't feel like doing that, maybe I can do a raid or nightfalls or doing bounties, triumphs. Like there's just so much. And with Outriders, the base is there and the abilities are fun to use, but all the activities kind of feel the same, kind of like how Division was.
Yeah.
It's like they have the raids and stuff, but it's basically a formula of survive the waves of super tanky enemies.
Yeah.
Using the same 3 abilities that you have had success with in the past. It just, I don't know, it's a lot of rinse and repeat. And so I'm trying to maybe I try a different build or different character or something, but then I gotta grind up again, and so I don't. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, with
But the game's fun.
Destiny, what grabbed me with Destiny was the fact that you got like that Diablo style experience, like but with a first person shooter. But you also got to bring all your gear into PvP and shoot your friends and
Mhm,
stuff, and that really was like appealing because at the time I was playing a lot of Call of Duty. I'm like, oh, look at this fresh new experience in the
mhm.
PvP space. Um, but the Outriders not having like a PvP outlet for all that fresh gear, it spoils the fun a little bit for me.
Yeah, it's weird because everybody's always like, "Well, just make it a separate game with Destiny," just I was like, "No." Even somebody like me who doesn't really enjoy PvP all that much, I feel like not having PvP would be a huge mistake
Yeah, I agree.
because there's a reason for the chase. It's like, "Well, I need to have the best gear so I can have a competitive advantage?"
Yeah.
And without that kind of itch, then I don't know. I don't know if it would be a success at all.
Yeah, I don't know either. I've been playing a little bit more Cyber Shadow. You remember that game? It came out
Mhm,
earlier this year, kind of a retro style game, in the vein of like a Ninja Gaiden, or even a Strider for the NES, not the Genesis one, but the NES one, where it's kind of like it's not a Metroidvania in the way that you're like exploring a place, but it feels like you're on an adventure, almost like Castlevania style, where up and down. You got to explore a little bit, but there's still like very segmented levels, and the action is super fun. And I put it down probably a month ago. It's got 10 levels, and I was on level 7 or 8. I was on level 7, and I put it down. I was getting a little bit frustrated because it's a very difficult game, but I also was picking up other games at the time, and I just picked it back up again, because I got a new controller for the Switch, and I wanted to test out this new controller. And man, I'm right back in it. Like I'm right back in this game, Cyber Shadow. It's so damn good. If you like Ninja Gaiden, uh,
mhm.
or or uh, or Castlevania, it plays more like Ninja Gaiden, but it's laid out similar to Castlevania, and it's got this cool kind of like Blade Runner esque aesthetic to it. It's a damn good game. It really is.
I actually did play it for about an hour or 2 since it is on Game Pass, and I have
Yeah,
that, so I downloaded it and played it for a bit. And you're right, it is very difficult. So I kinda stopped after I was playing the same area for, I don't know, a good 30, 40 minutes, and then the last time when you just die and you go back to where you were 20, 30 minutes ago, you're like, "Alright, I'm gonna stop for now."
yeah,
Just like, "I'll try it again later," you
yeah.
know?
For me, it's a great like couch game, where like maybe I got something on the TV, like maybe a series that I like, but I'm not like it doesn't absorb me like 100%. So
Mhm.
I'll just kind of like I'll have that on and I'll be playing some Cyber Shadow. That way the because that's how I play Cyber Shadow. The repetition, right? Is I have to basically learn a level, and all the challenges in it, and then kind of memorize it to be
Mhm.
able to beat it. Because I'm not good enough
Right.
to just sight unseen get
Yeah.
through it. I'm just not. I'm not that talented as a gamer. But in the end, it's very satisfying to get to that next checkpoint, finally get to a boss, and then see the and like every level has been interesting enough that it really does keep me wanting to play. Um, so it's been fun. I really it's not technically a retro game, but it's definitely a retro style game. So I feel
Right.
like it's good to talk about on this one. It's made by the same guys who made
Shovel Knight?
Shovel Knight, yeah,
Yeah.
which they
They,
still sell.
yeah. It's, it's nice that there's checkpoints there too, so if you're
Yeah,
all you're playing for a while, you're getting a little frustrated, you get to that checkpoint, like, "Alright, I'm done for now, I'll pick it up again later," you don't have to play it all in one sitting, which is nice.
yeah.
You just have a little bit of time.
And then the checkpoints are cool because you can when you get to a checkpoint, you can buy upgrades for your character, like special weapons or even health upgrades. Not permanent health upgrades, but like fill your health bar and fill your special ability meter. And because the repetition is so much there, I find that I often am like fully leveling up those
Oh, like
checkpoints to buy
mhm.
all this stuff because it's gonna take me a few tries at least to beat the next section, especially once I
Yeah.
got further in the game.
Is it I haven't played far enough to know this, but is it a game like Castlevania where you can't really beat certain areas if you don't have a specific power up or weapon?
I don't think so.
No.
I think you could probably beat it. It's definitely going to be harder in certain areas. Like they strategically give you the right weapon at a checkpoint to get you through the next spot. But you can, if you take enough damage, you can lose your special weapon. I think it's like 50% damage and you lose it. But usually I could still make it through, but I got to be, it's one of those games that uses every button on a freaking controller. And you're like, for me, it's like my fingers are getting like tied up trying to like air dash, then, like dive down and then, use my double jump and then, like like everything in sequence to get through a particular spot. But usually you can do it. It's just harder without the special weapon.
Yeah. And which controller do you typically use? Using like an Xbox controller?
So no, I play it on the Switch. So I normally use the Split Pad Pro, the Hori Split Pad Pro,
Oh,
which
okay.
are like full size controllers that go on the side of the Switch. But I recently got the 8-bit Do. I think what is this one called? It's the Pro 2, which is, it's a full size controller that's got back paddles on it, which is pretty nice. It feels like a PlayStation controller.
Yeah, I was like, it looks like a PlayStation controller.
Yeah, but it works with Switch, PC, Android, basically everything.
Nice. Why
Yeah,
does Split Pad Pro sound dirty to me?
I don't know. Hey man, that's something some deep dark, something buried deep and dark.
Or I've just been married too long. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe.
Go to the store. You got to buy the hygiene products. I've just gotten to the point where I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I just throw it in. I'm like,
yeah, it doesn't bug me too much, but I mess it up like because I get to the store and I feel like I never have enough information and I don't remember what I bought last time because my brain, I'm stupid, and so I'll be like texting my wife. I'll be like, is it this one or is it this one? And she'll be like, it's the purple package with like the picture of the unicorn on it. I'm like, they all have they're all purple. So I get confused. So my wife gets angry at me, and then she just says, "I'll do it myself. It's just too hard to make you do it."
that's your ulterior motive, so it's fine.
It's not on purpose. I'm just dummy.
I can just picture that whole thing happening in the store in that aisle. Just makes me happy.
Have you ever been sent out to the grocery store on Thanksgiving?
Like, in the morning,
one last thing that we forgot.
Yeah.
We need like green beans or something, right? And when you go there, all you see is a bunch of dudes who don't know where anything is in the grocery store. And they're all just like staring at like a wall of green beans, right? Like depending on what they're here, but if they're there for, let's say, green beans, and they never knew that there was French cut green beans, whole green beans, half cut green beans, long stem green beans. They never knew that, right? And they came here just for green beans. But there's like, not only are there 30 varieties, but there's another, like each variety has a brand. And like some are in water, some are in oil. Like what? I don't even know what I'm looking at. I just came here for green beans. You know what I'm talking about.
This is like a stand-up act. Talking about
you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, I do. I do. Usually for us, it's one of the main things. Like, oh, I forgot sweet potatoes. Like,
yeah, that's an easy one. Like, you go to the groceries. Yeah, that's an easy one.
Well, no, but sweet potatoes. There's yams. There's sweet potatoes.
Maybe I just don't know.
Like golden sweet potatoes, white sweet potatoes, like purple sweet potatoes. Like all I remember about sweet potatoes is that they're orange. Give me the orange ones.
Yeah. I just don't know. When I was a single man, I never went shopping, right? Like I think I used a service called Peapod, which is basically a grocery store would just deliver food to you, and you could order it online, right, and just have it delivered, and that was great because I didn't have to go to the grocery store. I don't like the grocery store; it's very confusing in there. There's a lot of people who don't follow the laws of traffic. They park their carts like diagonally across the aisle, and then they leave them there, and like, the purse is on the cart, so I feel bad about touching their cart. Like I don't want them to think I'm stealing their purse, but still, you're fucking rude. You just left it like right in the middle. I can't get. I don't like the grocery store, and then I gotta wait in line.
Yeah. There was a stand-up comedian, it might have been Dane Cook, like, back in the early 2000s, talking about leaving their grocery cart with all the groceries in it, and just imagining the scenario where somebody comes and steals, "Oh, you have everything exactly the way that I wanted it," you know what I mean? And they just take off with your cart with all the stuff in it. That's exactly everything that I wanted.
Perfect.
Why is that an anxiety that we have? Like, nobody wants your shit.
I don't know. I'm always worried about touching people's carts that have their purse in it, because women put
Right.
their
Yeah,
purse
yeah,
in
yeah.
their cart, which is
Yeah.
understandable. Men don't have that problem. The wallet is, there's a pocket made on pants just for wallets. It's perfect. It's a perfect size and shape. But I would carry a purse, honestly, if it was more socially acceptable. I mean, I often
Just wear
find
a
that
fanny
I
pack.
run out of pockets. What's that?
You seem like a fanny pack guy.
I don't know how to take that.
Just wear your
I
Crocs,
feel like
wear
you
the
might have
Crocs
just
with
made
the
fun
fanny
of me.
pack. Dude, The Rock rocked the fanny pack.
Yeah, that's true, right? If The Rock can do it, I can do it.
Sorry, I was making fun of you a little bit, but to be honest, like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I should get a fanny pack, or at least like a Indiana Jones style satchel.
Yeah,
You
just
know?
like a little, like square pocket on the side.
That's right. I could keep my
Put
father's notes of how to find the Holy Grail in it.
your bag of doubloons,
Yes.
indiscriminate coins.
Pay for
I
things
figured.
with
Yeah, I was just gonna
coins.
say, I figured wear the fanny pack like ironically,
Hmm.
like you knew that it was silly, but you'd still do it anyways.
Yeah. Do you wear it around front or around back?
I feel like if you want to do it ironically, you wear it front and center,
Yeah.
like right in the middle, right above the, you know,
Yeah.
the
I mean,
no-no
it would be
zone.
convenient. It's like having just a big extra pocket with you at all times.
You don't want to wear it in the back because I feel like that's opening yourself up for theft.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Touching my fanny pack. Sorry.
So there's some retro news this week.
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much as last episode, but some good stuff.
No, but good stuff. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm actually pretty excited about this first one because I got in on this. I actually
Oh, you did?
ordered. Yeah, I ordered the Super NT.
I'm
That's what
surprised
it's
you
called,
didn't
right?
have it.
I didn't
Yeah.
have it because it was out of stock for a long time, a year.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah,
Analog. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
All right, Analog took more pre-orders for the Super NT and the NT Noir. So the Super NT is an FPGA-based system that plays Super Nintendo games, and the NT Noir we talked about late last year because we both got them. Is the NES? The NT Noir is a little different than the Super NT because it's made out of aluminum and it's made to be much more like high end, and it's $500. But the Super NT is pretty affordable. It's $190, which is still a lot for a Super Nintendo. But this is a brand new Super Nintendo that supports modern displays. It does a lot of extra features. It has a micro SD slot in it, so you can actually load ROMs onto it. And actually, there's firmware available for it that'll allow it to play a bunch of games, NES games, I think some Atari games. I'm not exactly sure of the whole list at this point, but the firmware is actually made by the same guy who writes the official firmware, but they release it as unofficial firmware so they don't get in trouble for releasing basically what amounts to is an easy way to pirate games. Or
Right.
not pirate games, but play pirated games.
It's like, we don't want this liability under the umbrella of the company. You can do that personally and get sued. Thanks.
Right. I don't think they would get sued. I think it's perfectly legal, and it's not that different than what they're doing. The only difference is that you can put cartridges into the official firmware, whereas with the unofficial firmware, you can just load all the ROMs onto a micro SD and slide it in. So it's not that different, but I don't know. They always release it unofficially.
Right.
But still, this was awesome news. I was so excited that they finally, and they did all the colorways for the Super NT, because they have like kind of the classic gray and purple for the American market, and they also have the Japanese and Euro style with the different colors. And I was really excited to see that. I think they did the black one too, didn't they?
Yeah, I feel like they did. And anybody who's listening to this right now, too little, too late. They sold out pretty quick. Like the Super Nintendo sold out. I don't know, pretty immediately, right? Within an hour or so.
Yeah.
And then the Mini Noir, I feel like was available for about a day, maybe.
Yeah. Which
But
makes
yeah,
sense. The Noir is so much money, and the
right.
Super NT has been out of stock for over a year.
Yeah. But if y'all are interested in this stuff, first make sure you follow Analog on Twitter
Yeah.
because they tweet about that stuff. And you still can get like what I've seen on eBay is the SNESs are going for like 350 ish now, which is not as bad as they were.
Yeah.
So if you really, really want one, you can get one on eBay for not too terribly bad. But
I couldn't pull the trigger on it though. For a year, I was kind of like watching eBay and being like, I know they're going to be back in stock.
Yeah.
It's just a waiting game, you know? So,
yeah, I was lucky to get mine before they went out of stock. And I got, like, I think I said it one of the episodes, I got it for under $100 used.
oh,
I was
wow.
ecstatic.
Nice. That's great.
Super happy.
Which color did you get?
Just the normal US grade purple.
That's the one I got too.
Yeah.
I wanted one that kind of just matches the, because
Right.
I have a launch version of the Super Nintendo here, which doesn't have the best video quality coming out of it. Actually, if you get the later revisions of the Super Nintendo that have, it's called the one chip revision. It has much cleaner video output. So the video output out of my Super Nintendo is actually not that clean. So I'm actually really looking forward to this because I'll just get, cleaner HDMI out of it. It looks fine on a CRT, but once you start messing with it digitally, it gets a little.
I must have one of the later ones because I use the same attachment that goes on the GameCube and the N64 as it's like an S video thing that goes in. They all have the same AV, like
that
port
AV
cable thing.
multi-out.
Right. So S video actually looks pretty solid on my 720p plasma that's over here. So I must have one of the later ones.
That's good.
Quick sidebar, since we're talking about analog, did you play UN Squadron on the NT? Or do you have it yet?
No, I don't have it yet. It hasn't arrived yet. So
Okay.
I played it on a regular Super Nintendo. An actual
so you
Super
actually
Nintendo.
Okay, because you played it on your Mr. first, right?
Yes, I did.
Did it have the slowdown? The sprite
Yes,
slowdown?
it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can on the Mister, you can turn it off.
It made a difference on some of the stages.
Yeah, it makes it way easier when it slows down. Isn't that weird? I think a few weeks ago we talked about a couple of guys who they had changed the way. There's some I can't remember the exact details of the story, but there were some games that were early releases on the Super Nintendo that exhibited a lot of slowdown, and Castlevania 4 is one of them. And they were able to change the way the games were running to eliminate that slowdown, and it made the games way harder because a lot of the spawn rates were based on like what was going on the screen. So like not only was the game now running faster, but more enemies were being spawned in because the game was running faster.
Right, we talked about that. I don't remember what week that was. We talked about that.
It was a while ago.
Next piece of news, speaking of old games that were kind of revamped or people still playing, Mario Bros. 1 speedrun. There's a new record. It is under the previous record, if I remember correctly, it was it was about a second slower, something like that, maybe a second or two. And so this one's under 4 minutes and 55 seconds. And caveat, asterisk, it was on a PC with emulation with keyboard.
Oh,
so
wow.
it wasn't on original hardware. And if you watch the video, can't remember, it's on YouTube. I found it through Nintendo Life, but he posted his thing on YouTube, Niftski, Niftski. You can go to his channel and watch it. Keep in mind, it's got like 330,000 views or something like that. But the very end, it's very loud because they're all celebrating. But watching through it, and he was playing it live on YouTube, is one of the craziest things because I just didn't realize how perfect you had to be. Like they literally dictate the speed run by how many frames away from perfect you are.
Yeah.
And he, if I remember correctly, was like 2 frames or something, like something super small away from perfect, which is just insane.
Wow.
Think about it. Wonder how long he was working on it. I don't even know.
So how do they verify it? Because it's done on an emulator. Like, how do they verify the game is running at the correct speed and all that? Because when
Good
you're talking
question.
about like frames of differences between speed runs, like if the game runs like 0.1% faster, like that would make a difference in that kind of a speed run. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was it's what in the Guinness Book of, or it's been confirmed, the record. So I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what they did. There's probably a whole
There's
thing.
a
If you know how they do it, let us know. Send
yeah,
us
I'd
a
love to
tweet,
hear that.
put it in YouTube.
There's a great YouTube channel. I believe it's called Summoning Salt, where he goes. The whole channel is basically based off of watching the progression of world records and how, like, you know, like this game, let's say a game came out in 1982, people start speed running it in the 80s, and he talks about the people who set the records, the times they set, and then as it progresses into like the 2000s and there's actually like video evidence, he'll start showing the videos and how the small tweaks they make to improve, like take a half a second off of a speed run, or, you know, like I'm going to slide here instead of jumping here, or go backward here instead of going forward. Or like in Mario 3, I thought was really interesting is how a slight delay would actually improve like where the Hammer Brothers spawned when you got out of the level in the overworld map, because that was based on frame data. It was really
Hmm.
bizarre stuff. So Summoning Salt, if you're into this kind of thing, it's really interesting.
Interesting. So I clicked on the link from Nintendo Life and it took me to speedrun.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a list of all the speed runs, like, I don't know, top 1,200 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and literally the person first, Nifsky, with the 4 minutes 54 948 milliseconds, and then number two is 455 230 milliseconds.
Ooh,
So
that's less than half a
less than
second.
half a second. Yeah. And the last one was done 2 months ago, the last record. So
Wow.
yeah, the records don't seem to last very long anymore.
Yeah, if you look at it, there's like the top 3 were all set within the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And then like top 10 is all like within the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I didn't know that this was such an active scene. Like they're
Well,
still
I
breaking
mean,
this record.
yeah, people are really, I mean, I imagine for people that are really hardcore about this kind of stuff, it's about finding the game that you feel like is achievable to beat and
Yeah.
just working until you beat it, you know?
Yeah. But then like technology gets like uncovered by somebody and it blows the whole thing open, right? It's like, oh, all of a sudden somebody found like a 1 second like new strategy for Super NES or for Mario Brothers in level 8.1 or 8-1. So now every record is now able to be beat by that 1 second.
Yeah.
But you got to do a perfect fucking run to do it.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy.
incredible. That's some dedication. What else we got?
So Retrobit's coming out with a new N64 controller. Pre-orders are open on,
Yes.
what is it? Retro-bit.com, retro-bit.com. And it's $39.99. It is a wireless N64 controller. And it looks like the Hori, the Hori Mini N64 controller that
Yeah, I
somebody,
think it was
like,
just called the Mini. Yeah.
it's going for like over $100 on eBay, that little mini controller. So
Yeah.
it's styled like that. It's a bit smaller. It doesn't have the whatever, the banana prong in the middle. You
Yeah,
know, it's just
it's
got,
styled much more traditionally.
right.
I had
Well,
bought one of the retro bit minis before they were wireless, and I had a problem where the socket that plugs into the N64 was so damn tight that I felt like I was going to break the plug on the N64 side every time I plugged it in and unplugged it. So I actually returned it. I had bought it locally at the retro store locally, and they don't love returns there, but but they did take it back in exchange for some store credit because I showed them how tight it was. I'd be interested to see if I'm sure they fixed that for this one though.
this just in, Briar shows locals how tight it was. Sorry. What do you think about the design of this controller being like the original, if instead of the original controller that we got?
I
I
don't like the
imagine.
original N64 controller, so I much prefer this. I don't find I've got big hands. I've got thick hands, not necessarily slender, long fingers, and they just don't fit in that tri-prong controller well. I don't
Even
like
as a kid.
Nah, I don't remember really. I don't remember having a problem with it when I was a kid, but as an adult, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't particularly love the N64 in general.
I did at the time. I did at the time. I had a lot of fun with it with friends at the time. You know, you think about all the stuff that you played, but it's just I'm hearing this a lot from older retro fans and stuff that just trying to go back to N64 now is really so difficult.
It is tough. It's better if you play it on a CRT TV.
Right.
It just looks so fucking bad. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It really does. It just, of all the initial 3D consoles, the way they just used all this like motion smoothing on all the polygons and everything, it just looks really bad on modern TVs. That controller doesn't help. I have the Retro Fighters N64 controller, which I like pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's got a kind of horrendous D-pad, but you don't use D-pad with too many N64 games. I don't know. I might check this thing out. Retrobit. Why not? How much is it? $39.99?
Correct.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
So I believe you've mentioned this next piece before. Castlevania Resurrection.
Oh, okay.
Has resurfaced. Just this ominous video on YouTube of somebody putting what looks like a demo disc of some kind into a Dreamcast and playing it. And the things that I noticed, and maybe I was just keying in on the wrong things, is just how shaky his hands were when he was doing it.
And you think he's got shakes?
Dude, it's like it's really bad. And the sound of his breathing for the first half of the video is just like like so what thinking about the psychological part of that, my brain goes, is he doing something he's not supposed to be? Is he posting? Is he nervous? Is he not supposed to be posting this video? Is this some big secret that he's letting out right now? Like, that's the impression that I get when I was watching it. Maybe I'm just reading into it too much.
Oh, okay. I thought you were implying that he was masturbating.
Oh, no. I'm pretty sure he used one hand for the camera and the other hand was like doing all the other stuff. But did you watch
looks really still though?
No, look at his hands.
Now it's moving a little bit.
Like,
yeah, okay.
Watch his hands. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, I watched the video. I actually had it on mute though, so I didn't hear breathing. It's a pretty interesting video. So the story behind this is like these guys bought this from a private collector, but they still haven't released the ROM onto the web, right? So you still can't
Oh, I didn't even know if they had bought it from a private collector.
I think that was the deal. But anyway, they haven't released it, but they put out this video, which you can't really see a whole lot because it's like a cell phone video of a TV that's what do you think? That's probably like a 32-inch TV that's taking up a quarter of the screen. Yeah. So you really you don't get a good feel for it, and it looks like it's like it boots up to like a list of all the levels, and then he's just going in and checking out like kind of levels at random. But it's a 3D Castlevania game in the style of, I don't know what, like of that era, I would say. It's not the fixed camera perspective like Resident Evil. It's got like a camera that moves around a little bit more, but it's a 3D like platforming kind of style of game of that era. It definitely looks of that era. And my suspicion is this isn't a very good game, and that's why it wasn't ever released. That and the Dreamcast died early.
Who knows? Yeah. I mean, did you ever play the PS2 Castlevanias or anything like that?
I played the N64 Castlevania. I rented it, luckily for me, and was able to give it back. And I didn't like it at all. And I don't think I played
Castlevanias on N64,
but they're both the same game essentially. It's
Are
just
they?
it's just like they added some stuff and cleaned up the graphics, I believe.
Okay.
I believe that's the fact. And then I didn't play another 3D Castlevania because it left such a bad taste in my mouth until Lords of Shadow. I believe that's for the PS3 and 360.
Mm-hmm.
And those are like God of War style.
Yeah.
And those are good, but they're not well loved by Castlevania people because it's like a whole different lore. Like it just completely throws everything out and starts fresh. But they're pretty good. I think I still have a copy.
I don't think it's super expensive.
No, because they're not very popular.
They had a second one of those too, right?
Yeah. But yeah, if the ROM ever gets dumped publicly, I'll check it out. But I'm not like chomping at the bit for it because 3D Castlevania isn't like. I'm not dying to play more 3D Castlevania, especially in an unfinished form.
Says the guy who played GoldenEye on Xbox.
GoldenEye is a goddamn classic, though. It's a damn classic.
It's true. This is right up my alley. I thought it was interesting. A copy of Mario Brothers with all the auctions and sealed Mario Brothers games going. A copy of Mario Brothers Classic series, not the original Mario Brothers, but the one with the blue on the front and stuff, goes for $75,000 at a Goodwill auction on their site.
Wow.
So it was a sealed game, and my brain goes, how the fuck does somebody give away a sealed NES game, first of all? And that person, somebody commented on the story that I read, like, somebody needs to update their whenever you donate something, like your write-offs, somebody needs to update their write-offs.
Yeah, right.
You know, $75,000 game. Can you imagine finding something like this at a Goodwill and knowing what it's worth?
Yeah, I mean, did anybody know what that was? I guess if you found a sealed copy of, so this isn't Super Mario Brothers. This is Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And it's the arcade, so it's the black box with the pixel graphics on the front.
Yeah, so it's the Mario Brothers Arcade Classic series. So it's got the blue text, and I'm pretty sure it's literally just the Mario versus Luigi.
Yeah,
you know, where you have the different tiers and you have the little spike guys. You got to like POW block and all that stuff.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. $75,000.
Yo,
props to Goodwill. That's why you can't find any good games at Goodwill anymore, is because they're doing this, right?
A lot of them do like pull out the nicer stuff and put it online.
Damn,
which is unfortunate.
Oh, it's good for Goodwill. Goodwill's a good company, right? Like, we still support Goodwill. It's okay? They're not like raping babies or anything, are they?
Yeah, no, it's the only thing that I've heard is like some of the people higher up in their company make a little bit too much money. But
okay,
that's
like every charity.
Yeah. I have a thing that's kind of a sidebar for this, and I have a question for Briar as to what you would do. I was talking about this last night. I don't know if you remember how I found this Mario Brothers on eBay like 6 months ago. We had the podcast by then, and it's got the sticker and everything, and I wasn't sure whether it was first or second edition.
Yeah.
So the first thing I am going to do is send this in to get graded to confirm whether it's first edition or not. But it turns out, the way the market is right now, if this is a first edition in this condition, the last 3 auctions that have gone on Heritage Auctions are $9,600, $19,000, and $28,000.
Hell yeah!
In this ish condition of the only thing that was different was the $9,600 one had a ripped off sticker like this one, and the other 2 still had the sticker present.
Okay.
What would you do?
I would send it to the grading company.
Right.
Are you debating whether you like, if you sold it for, let's say, 10 grand, would you feel somehow that you should give some of that money to the person who sold it to you?
No.
I don't think so either. I mean, that's the risk you take when you sell stuff, right? It's like,
right.
You know,
no, well, and that the person that I bought it from knew what games were worth because everything else was right at market value. I mean, this was around market value if it wasn't a special copy.
Yeah.
No, my question was, would you sell it or would you keep it?
I would sell it.
Even if you didn't need the money right now?
I am not a financial advisor, and I do not know what the market is going to do. But because the market is so hot right now, and I don't have a lot of confidence that the market is going to stay hot once people can go back outside, I think we're seeing like an inflation of a lot of collectibles right now because people have a lot of time sitting in front of their computer shopping on eBay. I would take the money personally. I mean, that could be a poor decision in 10 years. It could be worth double that. I don't know. But also, if you take the money and invest it wisely, it could be worth double that. So,
yeah. I'm kind of at the position, by the way, for those who haven't followed this here. It's what I believe to be a first print original Super Mario Brothers. It's not sealed. It is complete condition. I'm gonna guess it probably will get like a 7 to 7.5 condition wise. But we'll see. And I think I'm just at the position where I'm gonna keep an eye on the market for the next 3 or 4 years. And
I mean, definitely grade it though, right? Send it in for
yeah, no,
grading.
that's the first step. That's the first step.
Yeah, and like that way,
Confirm.
you're ready to pull that trigger if you need to.
Right. I mean, we do want to buy a house within 5 years, so if it goes up a little bit,
That's a nice down payment. That's a nice chunk of down payment. I mean, if you're at the lower end of that, it's still a nice chunk for a down payment.
Portland housing market is insane, but yeah, it helps for sure.
Yeah, man. I also don't collect in the same way you do, so like our priorities are different in that way.
Yeah.
So
I didn't buy it with the intent to sell. Like I was like, oh, this is a super cool thing to add to the collection. I always wanted, like a first print stuff. I always like first print stuff because it's just special. They only made 2 to 10,000 of them, and sorry to bring that here and all that kind of stuff. It's
no, I think it's interesting.
Look at this expensive thing Jay has. It's just like a moral dilemma for me.
Look at this motherfucker showing off. I put this one on. This one, I don't know. It skirts the line of whether it's retro news or not. But the Odin, okay, this thing it's a really cool device. If you have a joystick, like an arcade stick with like a regular old, joystick that you wiggle around in it, this is a device that replaces that joystick with the SAD W keys or the WASD keys. And it just drops in and then plugs into the connectors that you would find in a joystick and kind of just works out of the box. So a lot of people who might have either problems using a joystick for retro games or fighting games or arcade style games, or it actually can provide more accurate inputs if you're big into the fighting game scene. It's a pretty cool device, and they're only like $50 to $60. I just ordered one and I thought it was kind of a neat thing, so I wanted to show it, because it's really cool. It's called the Odin. They sell them on Etsy. They're always out of stock, so you got to get it like on a waiting list.
I was gonna say it's out of stock, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a really, really cool device, and I have an arcade stick hooked up to my Mister 99% of the time because I like to play retro games with an arcade stick. It's just, I don't know, if I used to buy arcade sticks for like the Super Nintendo and the NES, and that's how I just like to play those games back then, and it's how I like to play them now. And I think it's a pretty cool device, especially if like you get wrist pain or you just don't like it, or if you want to beat Mario Brothers in a world record time.
Yeah, I mean it looks really interesting. It looks like it uses red switches too, so
when you buy it, you can select which kind of switches.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah. It's all customizable and stuff like that with like the keyboard, all the keyboard switches. It's real popular in the joystick button world right now. Is the switches they have in standard like Japanese buttons for arcade sticks are now being upgraded to like the same buttons or the same switches you'd find in keyboards like Kales or Cherry MXs, and you can switch them out and make them clicky or whatever. And there's a lot more customization available in there. But boy, it is a money pit, just like keyboards are, I guess.
Yeah,
I almost feel bad for people who are like big into building their own keyboards because man, that's a tough habit to get into.
Well, there's like a whole world. Somebody that I met, I remember she told me what she did, and I was like, wait, that's a thing? And it was the creation of custom keycaps, like kind of artistic, kind of special keycaps that aren't like regular keys. They're like Pikachu or a Subway sandwich or a cheeseburger. And for
Yeah,
anybody who's seen Tiny make things on Twitter slash TikTok, yeah, she makes some super cool stuff.
that is cool. I was also checking out this thing, the Memory Card Pro, Mem Card Pro for the PlayStation 1. This is a really cool device. Basically, it's a new memory card to use in a PlayStation 1 that has what effectively is unlimited storage. So PlayStation has what, like, I think they measured it in blocks, and you could have a few saves on there, maybe, depending on how many. Some games I remember would take up an entire memory card for just their save. What this thing is, you put an SD card into it, and it 1 gigabit. If you can you even find a gigabyte memory card anymore? They probably don't even exist anymore, right? But it's like exponentially more than were on the original memory cards, which is just so useful. It's even got like a little screen on it, so you can see what's on it. You can do all sorts of cool stuff with it. It's got Wi-Fi in it, so you can transfer your saves to your computer as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a really cool little device.
How much is
Mem
that?
Card Pro. I think it's like $50 or $60.
Oh, wow. I mean, you think about an old memory card and that seems like a lot, but if you think about what it does for you, then it's not that
Yeah,
bad.
I mean
It's nice,
it's a one-stop solution for the rest of your life for your PlayStation.
right?
You're
It's
never gonna
nice
need
that they
to
made
get
it
another
look
one.
gray and dirty too, just like your old PS memory
Yeah,
cards.
yeah. They actually just announced that they're coming out with like all the different colors that the PlayStation controllers came in. So you could do that too. You can get all different colors, but I would get the gray one.
It just anybody who's got an old memory card sitting around knows what I'm talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, there's something about that plastic that just looks dirty, right? Like it always did. And then our last story of the day: PS3 and the Vita stores are going to remain open. Sony has issued an apology, and they're going to keep those open for the foreseeable future. But they are
Till
still
next
going to
year.
close the PSP store.
Yeah. Well, PSP is how much older than Vita? It's like what,
I
5,
don't know.
6 years?
I would
Something like
guess
that.
somewhere around there. Yeah,
Probably what we're looking at for Vita
yeah,
and PS3. Vita and PS3 did feel a little early personally, but
I agree. Um,
can you even still buy stuff like on the 360 store and the Wii store?
yeah,
Yeah.
not the Wii. No, the Wii shop shut down years ago.
Hmm. But it was about the same, wasn't that about the same time as PS3?
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah.
more or less. I don't remember.
So long ago.
The Wii and the Wii U and the GameCube, they all seem to be just slightly offset of the other consoles to me,
Yeah, they were.
and it always kind of like it muddies the generations a little bit to me. Although didn't the GameCube release at the same time as the PlayStation 2?
2.
I don't know. I can't remember release dates anymore. That information is gone. Never to be remembered again. I'd have to look it up.
So somebody just dropped this in my DMs
Hmm.
uh about PlayStation Cmos batteries.
Yeah,
And
this is concerning.
do you know, so do you want to explain it? Because I'm just now learning about it.
So on the PlayStation 4 and seemingly the PlayStation 5, it appears at this point that if the CMOS battery dies, the CMOS battery like controls like the system's date and time, and just kind of allows it provides constant power to the device to allow for it to remember certain settings. If that dies on either the PS4 or PS5, if the PlayStation Network is shut down and the PS5 or PS4 cannot phone home to get a current date and time, you will not be able to play games on that system.
Excuse my laughter. I'm laughing at how ridiculous it is.
That's ridiculous, right? And CMOS batteries last a long time,
Yeah.
but they're not forever. And even if you replace it, like it's still got to phone home somehow. Now, once people figure this out, I feel like this has been around for a couple of weeks now. Like people have been looking at this for a couple of weeks, so it could be that Sony actually fixes this and just like issues a fix for this, or in a simple fix would be instead of phoning the Sony PlayStation Network, it could just like you could set it automatically. Like when a Saturn battery dies or a Dreamcast battery dies, it just asks you to put the time in again, and you're off to the races. You know, so they could just get rid of this, or my guess is that if Sony doesn't do anything about it, hackers will. The community will figure out a way to fix this, and it'll probably add a bunch of functionality like playing copied games.
I don't know why I'm getting this vision of this crime movie where it's like dun 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 dun. It's like super dramatic music going, and it's like it's got a timer as to when you're going to lose all of your information.
Yeah,
and it's like 25 years. It's just a countdown of 25 years, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, what are we gonna do?" It's like tick,
yeah,
tick, tick, tick.
I mean, I think it's a big problem though, right? Because all PlayStations are sitting here, all PlayStation 4s and PlayStation 5s. People are still buying PlayStation 5s, and to find out this timer is ticking sucks. And I am of the belief that I'm going to be buying physical copies as long as they'll allow me to, because as I watch these digital stores shut down and these batteries die, it's just going to get harder and harder to play your digital libraries on these consoles. But even if it even affects my physical copy, that's a real bummer, man.
Yeah.
Red Ribbon Vinny says it even the PS3 has the same timer. I hadn't heard about the PS3. I knew about the PS4 and PS5. But yeah, that's a real bummer. I hope Sony comes out with an official fix for it. It hasn't been confirmed, I don't think. It could be that the PlayStation is looking at like some kind of world clock on the internet, as opposed to it has to connect to the PlayStation Network, and that also assumes that the PlayStation Network will get shut down. For all I know, the PlayStation Network could outlast all of us. I don't know, but it is concerning.
It's interesting. It's all theoretical at this point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. That's pretty much it, right? UN Squadron time?
Yeah. Let's get angry. Let's get really
Dude,
angry.
my hands still hurt from playing last night.
It's so fucking hard, Jay.
Were you playing on normal as well?
Yeah, I played on normal. Like, just like, I booted up the game and I started playing it. Oh my God. Dude, the first level isn't too bad, right? I did die on the first level multiple times. Don't get me wrong. But it's not, it's a shooter, right? So you die in shooters. That's the thing. But it's like, first of all, this game, it's a shooter. It's a side-scrolling shooter. It's based off of some anime in Japan. So it's got some like flavor to it, right? But it's kind of weird because the packaging is super generic. It just shows like a pilot flying a plane and some generic UN Squadron text. So you have no idea that there's like a deeper like story or anything going on inside this game. But you can select your pilot, you can select your plane, you can upgrade your plane over time. You can buy new weapons and even buy better planes over time. Not that I ever got to do any of that shit because I couldn't beat like the third level. It's so fucking hard that it's like, and it's not even like a bullet hell kind of hard where you've got like a million bullets coming at you from every direction. You're really, it's more about like navigating your plane like through that bullet hell. It's just that like your plane is so big and the hitbox on your plane is so big that everything seems to kill it. And you don't die and then spawn in right where you were. Like you don't have like 3 lives. When you die, you start at the beginning of the level.
Yep.
It is hard. It's so hard.
I almost went to easy just so that I could get further in the game.
Yeah. How far did you get?
So I played for a couple of hours and I wanted to play a full playthrough of each of the characters to see what the differences were.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I can't remember his name. The third character, Greg. He looks like a
Greg,
Greg.
my man with the beard.
He was the most. He was the best for me because he regenerated his health the quickest, and he had the most hits that you could have against him. And so I don't know. It's hard to say exactly what level I got through because it's not linear.
Yeah.
Right. So the arcade game was linear and you couldn't really choose what you did and you couldn't really choose your path and stuff. But on the console games, you can choose. It's like the first level is the first level. And then after that, you can choose one of 3 levels. And then there's these extra levels that come in and bonus levels because you, over time, you have these enemies that are flying towards your base. And if you wait too long, like the planes get there and the submarines, and you have to attack them or kind of defend your home and stuff. And there are things that I appreciate and don't appreciate in the game. So I got, I don't know, probably the 5th level or so, 6th level maybe.
Oh man, you're good.
But like, oh man, I was so tense. Like my hands, literally, I like carpal tunnel, sharp pains in my wrists and stuff just from. One of my biggest pet peeves with this game is you can auto fire for like a second and a half and then it stops and you have to press it again. So it's not like you're at least you're not going like beep, 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 you know, you're not doing that with a controller, but you have to be like the entire time. You just got to be like constantly pressing it over and over again.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll like forget to press it and you'll die. You're like, ah, shit, I forgot to, fix it. But so that's something that's annoying. But one thing that was good is that if you get hit, and you realize that you get hit, then you have a couple of seconds that you need to chill, get your health bar back, and then you can go. So it's not like insta dead. It's like you get hit and then you chill, your health bar goes down a little bit, you get hit again, chill, health bar goes down. So you have a little bit of kind of room to play with before you die instantly. So that was nice.
But if you get hit again, immediately you die.
Yeah, if you get hit twice within a span of a couple of seconds, you die.
And there's no immunity. Like after you get hit, your character doesn't flash for a second.
For like maybe 1 second. It's a very short amount of time.
I never saw this happen, but maybe it's for a half a second or something like that. It's really quick if it's true because I got hit. I got like nailed successively so many times.
I learned too on some of the bosses, and I don't even know how I activated it. There's like hidden power-ups in the sky, like behind clouds and stuff. Yeah, I was fighting.
I never found that.
Yeah, I was fighting like the aircraft carrier, which is just a big, huge pain in the butt because you're flying over this aircraft carrier super slow, and if you don't have the right plane that has, like I ended up getting the A-10, which has the napalm. If you don't have that, and you don't have the directional down bullets, all you have is bombs, basically, or maybe
which are weak.
Yeah, the bombs that maybe skim on the bottom or whatever. But the aircraft carrier has just this constant barrage of slow and fast bullets coming at you. Some of them are like 3 lines at a time. But there was this, it happened twice when I was playing it. I was like, oh, I'm invincible. Like you just have this electrical shocking thing around your ship. And somebody in chat was like, oh yeah, that's one of those hidden power-ups. And I was like, there's hidden power-ups? Like you don't even know about it. You're just flying and all of a sudden you're invincible. So to people that know this game, there's like hidden power-ups and stuff, which is really interesting. So I kind of want to talk about the origin of this game a little bit.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
So Briar mentioned that it was based on an anime. It was actually based on a manga, the original Area 88.
What's the difference? Same thing.
Well, okay. In the mid 80s, right? It was like, or actually late 70s. The manga came out in 79 through 86, had 23 volumes. It was like 172 missions or something total in the manga amongst the 23 volumes. And then it came out as an arcade game. I don't remember exactly how the arcade game came out versus the OVA, which I had to learn what an OVA was, original video animation. It's like higher budget than a TV show, lower budget than a movie kind of thing. So that was based on the manga in 85. And then there was an updated anime series in 2004. And then they tried, the anime series kind of failed. It canceled after, I don't know, about a quarter of the story.
The one in 2004 did?
Yeah, it just didn't get the traction. but they brought it to Super Famicom 2 years after the arcade game, so 91 is when it came out. And you mentioned the art, how it's just this indiscriminate fighter pilot. If you look at the
Yeah.
original Area 88 stuff, it's more anime style. It focuses on the characters and the story and stuff. And then you look at this UN Squadron stuff, and it's just not that.
So generic. It's like Top Gun, but without Tom Cruise.
Would you be surprised if I told you the artist that did this art also did Mega Man 2 and Strider
Not at all.
cover art?
Not even a little bit.
Because you know the story about the Mega Man 2 box art, right?
Yeah,
Where it's just it's just this weird human with a pistol.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have. So I
it's
just
so bad it's fucking good.
I just imagine the scenario where they're like, all right, so you have to draw this art, and it's about fighter planes and you know, stuff like that. So he literally just focuses on the fighter pilot stuff. I mean, it's a cool cover, but I had no idea.
It's not a cool cover. It's so generic. This could be anything.
It is. It looks just like
anything. This could be a Tom Clancy novel. It could be anything. It could be a movie. It could be the sequel to I don't know.
This is Top Gun 3.
Yeah, it's like it's so fucking generic. I mean, I guess it tells you everything you need to know. You could be flying fighter jets.
Yeah, there's a whole story that this game actually does. Like the characters in it are based on the original manga and anime.
Yeah,
so
which is kind of cool. Like I don't understand why they changed it for the US. For the US, Area 88 is a better name. The art for the Japanese art is way better. Like I don't know, like it looks like okay, this might be a game I want to play. I'm gonna go ahead out on a limb and say this game didn't sell super good.
I don't know sales wise. I thought there was an interesting thing that on IGN's rankings, and I kind of want to ping Fran on this and see if he was involved.
Yeah,
IGN has a top 100 SNES game list that's still available to look at.
Yeah.
UN Squadron was ranked 37.
I want to punch whoever made that list in the nose.
Talk to Fran.
This game is so fucking hard, man. It is. I mean, it's not a bad game. Like it does a lot of cool stuff. Like I love that you can level up your planes. I love you can level up your weapons. Like there's like a progression mechanic as you're playing it. I love that there's characters. Like and the characters feel like they have, for lack of a better word, character.
Right.
The levels all feel super generic. Like they don't get me excited when you're comparing this to something like on the Genesis Thunder Force. You know, like that game was graphically marvelous, and this just looks like I don't know, like really generic to me.
Maybe you need to play it on easy so you can get a little bit further and really appreciate it. Some of the boss fights are pretty intense.
Okay, maybe I just got to get a little further, but it was not pulling me further because it was the plane. So a lot of shooters is even though your plane or your ship is big, like the actual hurt box, the part where you can get shot and killed is like dead center in the middle, and it's much smaller than your actual plane. So there's a little give there. In this game, I literally felt like the hurt box is bigger than my plane. Like stuff would come near my plane and hit it, and I'd be like, "Yo, I don't feel like I got hit." And also, it's big. Your plane is very big, and a lot of things are shooting, and it's very horizontal, and a lot of things are shooting up and down at you. So it's very hard to get out of the way. And it's really frustrating because a lot of the bullet. A lot of things have patterns, but a lot of things have kind of like a randomness to it where the bullets are flying fast, but they're coming at you in a pretty random direction. Like the stealth bomber I posted a video of, about a couple of weeks ago. It was so frustrating to me because it would shoot out 2 bullets that would then explode into 4 bullets.
Yeah.
And it was, you couldn't really predict like how those bullets, you really had to just react to where those bullets were going and get the hell out of the way, which makes it really difficult. Like it's not something you can memorize to get better at. But also the weapons felt so goddamn weak. Like even against like normal enemies in a level, you'd be using your special weapons. One of the weapons you can buy is a bomb. And the bomb does exactly what you think a bomb is going to do. It kind of comes off your ship and goes down. And when I first tried out the bomb, I'm like, oh, god damn, they give you 50 of these things. That's awesome. And then you realize To use the bomb, you just like tap the special weapon button, and you got to tap it pretty quick to get these things to come out pretty quick. It looks like you're peeing off of a cliff where it's just droplets of pee coming down, and that's about how effective it is too. Like even like normal enemies, it takes a few of these things to kill a normal enemy, and then like anything bigger, like a mid-size enemy, you can take 10 or 15, and a boss, like it hardly does anything to a boss.
Yeah.
And like you're sitting there hitting the button 50 times as fast as you can, thinking like, oh, I'm going to use my special weapon 50 times. I'm hitting this thing. I'm like, oh, and I was really frustrated by that.
I want to try to see if I can change your outlook. One of the things I did appreciate too with progression is if you die and you start up again, your ship holds the power that you had earned. So if you're picking up power ups and stuff like that, and you die and you come back, like it just innately saves the level that your ship was at. You get to use money. It's like, okay, well, I've spent the last 15 minutes on this level with the ship. Okay, I have enough money that I can upgrade the ship, kind of thing. That's really nice because it kind of saves your progression, and you feel like you're not just getting stuck in the same loop the whole time. And as far as the specific level that you're talking about, one of the tips is save all of the bombs for the end.
I did.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah. And then that clip on Twitter that I put up, it was all 50 bombs, all 50 of them. And I'm sitting here, I'm using an arcade stick, so I'm not even using my thumb. I'm tapping the button with 2 fingers like a paintball gun.
Yeah. So if you get hit once, I noticed if I like go to the bottom kind of left corner and stay safe for a second, you get your health bar back a little bit, and then you can try again.
Yeah.
So, so I feel like you could beat that level. Maybe
I did beat it eventually, but it was very frustrating, and it took me a long time, and I really hated how I had to start at the beginning of the level every time.
Yeah. So there are like the second ship is really good for certain levels because in some levels there's enemies that spawn like behind you.
Yeah.
And there are like little boats that'll spawn behind you in the water, and they'll come up from behind you and shoot rockets straight up and stuff. The second ship has the ability to get these tracking rockets, which really helps in those levels because they literally go up and behind you and get the enemies behind you and stuff. So they start to like kind of clear out things for you so you can focus on what's in front of you. So that's a really nice ship to have for certain levels. It's almost like a TMNT situation where certain ships are better for certain levels. And then I was able to finally get the A10, which is the 4th ship, skipped the 3rd one. And actually, when I did the A10, I didn't even get the 2nd ship because I was like, I just want to try the A10. So I got the A10, and it's got bullets coming straight and at a downward diagonal. So anything that's ground, like there's a level where it's like almost like a forest. You have like a bunch of trees and you have vehicles on the ground all over the place. So having that diagonal downward bullet hell type thing is great. And that ship also has napalm, which for any of the bosses that are kind of based on ground and guns and stuff, the napalm, like it hits and it just like hits them like 10 times, like with the napalm, and it was so good.
I didn't get that.
So yeah, you gotta try the different levels and the different ships, I think.
Why would you make me try this again? I'm not trying this again.
Put it on easy and give it another shot. I don't know, because it was more satisfying than I originally thought. Like when I first started, I was like, oh no, and then people were giving me tips in chat while I was playing. So I'm glad that I played on stream because I don't know if I would have enjoyed it by myself.
That was my problem. I was alone in my misery.
I played through all 3 characters through all 3 continues because I just wanted to experience kind of a gamut, the gamut of what it had to offer and stuff before I gave my opinion. And I want to play it again, but I need to give myself a couple of months for my like wrists because like I was gripping the controller so tight.
Yeah.
Just like death gripping this because you can't just like hold the button down. You have to like sit there and just constantly press. Yeah,
you gotta pulse it. And you can use turbo, but it kind of messes up like the pattern of it. So you're really better off pulsing it.
And when you're trying to use your super weapons, you have to hit both weapons at the same time. So you're just like constantly pressing 2 buttons at the same time for
other Capcom shooters did that too. I think 1940 series did that too, where it was like a pulsing. Yeah. It's probably meant to be easier, but it's actually just annoying.
I mean, it's a strategical thing, right? Like you can't just hold it in easy mode. You got to like pick your moments. I don't know. I enjoyed it, and I don't typically super like games like this, but I would like to beat it at some point, so I might play it on easy just so I can get all the way through it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine there's a hard mode? I want to try. I haven't
No,
even tried
man.
that and seen how difficult it is.
This game beat me down. It stole. It slept with my wife. It kicked my dog. It was. I really didn't like this game at all. I felt it's not that I don't like it. It's that it's just so damn difficult that I didn't feel compelled. Like it was too difficult for me to feel really compelled to keep trying. You know, and there's other shooters that I like better. Like I don't know, Donpachi or I like the 1940 series, 1945 or 1944 and 19XX. I think are really fun games. Maybe I like them though because you could just keep putting credits in them and keep playing. They are pretty easy.
I want you to give this another shot. You actually earn extra lives at a certain point too.
Not
like if
me.
you get a certain score, you go.
I don't.
I'm like, oh, I got an extra life before the continue. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll give this another shot.
Done.
Maybe I will. I mean, I have the cartridge.
Yeah.
So maybe I will along the way.
A couple of more notes that I found interesting about the game. A line of Area 88 model planes were produced, so you could build the actual model planes from the series. That was pretty cool. If for anybody who's played Ace Combat Infinity for the PS3, there are some aircraft from the Area 88 UN Squadron games, which also was pretty cool, like skin / aircrafts that you could get. And if you click on that link, there's a Wayback Machine link that I found to go back to the original Area 88 like American anime site, and it looks very 1999.
Hell yeah, it does.
2001, like it's got the custom image rollover stuff. Like it's super cool.
Oh yeah, this is great. God, I love the Wayback Machine. Thank you.
But you can't really click on all the links.
Yeah, not all of them work, right? But still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
It's good that we have different opinions on this game. I definitely don't feel like it's a bad game. I just feel like it's a mean game. It's an evil game. It's a game that does not have your best interests at heart.
I was surprised because I had never played this game before, and when I was playing it, it was more like this morning because I ended at like 6:30 a.m. A lot of people came in, they're like, this is one of the first games I ever had for my Super Nintendo. I was like, really? Like, I did not know. Like, nobody I knew had this game growing up. I had never played it.
Well, let me tell you, if this was the first game you had for your Super Nintendo, your parents didn't like you very much. You need to have a real long talk with them.
I mean, like, what shoot 'em up games have a difficulty setting? Like, it's you think about how simplistic those games were at the time, and I feel like this one's kind of ahead of its time in a lot of the options, the progression, and the way that it saves your progress. The different variety of ships and weapons and things like that. Like we talked about TMNT, the first one being super difficult and it being ahead of its time. I feel like this is kind of the same for shoot 'em ups, in my opinion.
I feel like other shooters had difficulty settings. I think the progression, being able to upgrade your ships, like, or your actually like buy new aircraft is pretty cool. I like being able to switch the pilots out for different abilities. Like that stuff is all really cool. But I don't know, like the actual gameplay just didn't grab me.
Gotcha. Man, I want you to try it again. Maybe one day.
Maybe I will. Next time we do a shooter as like the game of the week, I'll compare and contrast it to this game at the same time. Maybe I just need some time after it hurt me so bad.
It hurt me physically
and mentally.
All
right.
Do you have any pickups this week other than
I got
the game?
this game called UN Squadron.
Oh, that looks good.
Really shady dude I met on the internet sent me this thing. This was your copy. I think you showed this on camera.
Yeah.
This traveled in 2 weeks. It used to be all the way over there.
Yeah.
And now it's all the way over here.
Wait, hold on. I have a meme. Hold on. Bear with me here.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, let's do this.
Huge setup for a really crappy payoff.
I'm ready for it. We're
So
doing this.
am I below you? Am I below? I'm below you.
You're below me. Yeah.
All right, Briar. I'm gonna send you this game.
Okay.
You ready for it?
Yep.
Here we go.
Okay. I got it. Oh, look at that. Oh, somehow I lost the little dust cover. It fell off. I don't know. I've been collecting all of the games that we do on the show. I think that's been kind of a fun one to do. I'm really at some point we'll run into a really expensive one that I'm just not going to be willing to spend money on. But I was glad to add this one to the collection so I can always remember how much it hurt me.
Every time he looks at it, there's just sad music that plays.
Yeah, wah wah. How about you? Did you get any good pickups this week?
I did, yeah.
Let's see.
Nothing like
this is the part of the show where I like to lean back and just watch.
Yeah, just kind of. He's unzipping his pants right now. Bad. So I keep looking in my containers. Like I just have games that I've been sitting on for a while and whatnot, and I'm just at the point where I want to clear space. Plus, the game store that I have gives really good credit trade-in values, and I get an extra like 10% and all that stuff. So I've just been like loading up all the games. Like, here we go, we're going to the game store, and getting like chunks of credit to use. And so I did that again, and I had gone in less than 2 weeks prior, and I wasn't really expecting anything extra, so I was just gonna look at the games that I had already kind of notated.
Yeah.
But I go in and they had new boxed NES games on the shelf as soon as I walked in, and I was like, I want to save that. I want to save that, like as they're doing my trade. And the first thing that I saw, and you're gonna be like, well, Jade, I thought you already had a copy of that. Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah.
In box. It's in really rough shape. But what do you see? I don't know if you notice what's different. Look at the color of the dots.
Oh, they're white dots.
They're white dots. For anybody who knows anything about Mike Tyson, white dots means first print.
Oh.
And they didn't know that at the game store. They did not have it priced for that. It is in really rough shape, like I said. But I've always wanted a first cut, and the cart has the white dots on it and as well. And it even has built in, it's got pencil writing on the cover of the box.
Yeah.
You go straight to the last.
Right to Mike Tyson.
Oh. Not to Mike Tyson, to the last circuit.
Nice.
I looked it up.
That's convenient. You don't even have to open the manual.
I know, right? It's right there. So I was super happy to get that. It's complete in box. They marked it at $200, but it's worth more than that.
Really?
Since it's
I like that box too. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not super artistic, but I don't know. There's something classy about it. I like the picture of Mike Tyson. I like how it's just says Punch Out. I think it's a cool looking box.
I was thinking about it. Did they have to? Is that a freeze frame? Is that like, okay, act like you're gonna punch him and then don't?
Yeah, I bet you're right. I bet it is an act like you're gonna punch him. Like they
have the referee in the back. Look like you are looking at the guy with a dumb face.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it was an actual fight. Like, I bet you're right.
Somebody asked, "Is it a 5-screw?" It is not a 5-screw. The 5-screw, which is the super expensive one.
This is a family show.
The 5-screw for Mike Tyson is like the 3rd or 4th print, and the reason that that's super rare is because they had the lowest printing of that one. But it wasn't a first print, wasn't a 5-screw, which is just kind of weird. But yeah. Anyways, so there's that. And this again, not in great condition, but it was a new one. And basically they priced it for the same price as the cart, Beetlejuice.
Oh, nice.
It's just the game in box. The box is in rough shape, but the cost of the game by itself is like $25 to $30.
Is it?
So I was like,
I've never played that game. Is it any good?
Yeah. I have never played it either. It looks like, is it a side-scrolling adventure type game?
It's a movie game, so it's probably no good, but I used to love the movie. I kind of like can you show the front of it again?
Yeah. Beetlejuice is one of my favorite movies of all time, so.
I like the cover.
Yeah.
When you put them in those plastic boxes, it kind of makes them look like they're in good shape.
Yeah, right? No, it's pretty rough. Like the color of this thing is just.
Is it faded?
Oh, God. The game store actually puts them in those, too, so I don't have
to. Oh, that's nice. So you don't have to buy them.
It's got like sticker residue all over it. Yeah, it's in rough shape. The color's completely wrong. I'm pretty sure this is like the VHS cover is what
Oh,
it
it's the
is.
same cover as the VHS.
I'm pretty sure. So,
they
and it's
didn't
an
treat.
LJN. It's an LJN game,
Oh,
so
so
you know
it's
it's
bound to
quality.
be terrible. It's like
Isn't that the same one
by
that Star Wars
law.
was?
I think you might be right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That game wasn't that bad though. Star Wars. I didn't mind it that much. I thought it wasn't. I mean, it's not in my top 100 probably for NES, but it wasn't awful. It wasn't a terrible game.
All right. If you
All
say
right.
so. All right. So the next one is cart only, but I've been really getting into Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. I didn't even know this game existed. Bomberman Quest.
Ooh.
I honestly should have researched about it. I didn't. I vowed to anytime I have pickups, I want to research stuff and learn more about it so I can talk about
Yeah.
it, but I didn't on this one.
Hmm.
I imagine it's some kind of adventure game with Bomberman.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
I wonder if it's like the standard puzzles, like a progression through puzzles with some kind of story, or I wonder if it's actually like a side scroll or something. I'm gonna look it up real quick while you do the next one.
Yeah. And the next one is I have the first one in this edition, Sonic Blast 2. And the story with this is it's not a cheap game. They had it priced for $139, but I've seen it there for a long time.
Yeah.
And it was the only copy. And this, like, they had it priced at 139, but market value is like 160, 170 right now. So I was like, I'm gonna pick that up. Because like very rarely do you find something at the retro game store that's less than what the market is, at least for me.
Nice.
So
I've never heard of that game either.
Yeah, so Sonic Blast Man, it's a beat 'em up, and the first one was one player, and it's mega slow, and it's not very good. But the second one is co-op. It is two player, or excuse me, I just said the same thing. It's co-op. It's much faster, and you have different characters with different abilities. The first one, you're literally just Sonic Blast Man. You're super slow. You go around, you punch, and stuff like that. So the second one is like a way better game. Yeah. So I'm excited to try that one out. But the story, yeah, I picked it up and I was like, he was handing it to me and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get it as long as it's in good shape. And he's like, it looks pretty good to me. And as soon as I get it, I was like, oh, except because I didn't even see this in the case. I was like, oh, except for and I don't know if you can see it. There's an A etched.
Oh yeah, kind of scratched in there. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'll give you a discount for that. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, I ended up getting it after my 10% discount. He gave me like an extra $15 off, so I got it for like 112 or something.
Awesome.
So
that's nice. I don't mind stuff like that. It's like the history of the cartridge. Marks its journey. I looked up Bomberman Quest. This is like it almost looks like a Zelda style RPG.
Really?
Like action RPG. It looks kind of cool.
I mean, it's one of those games. I mean, they had it marked at 60, but again, market is like 70 or 80 right now. So
nice. I would check it. I would at least boot it up before
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't look bad at all.
It does absolutely look like Zelda Link to the Past. 100%.
Right? Like with dungeons and everything. Obviously you're using your bombs as a weapon instead of a sword. But man, it looks good. I'm gonna check this thing out.
I was gonna see if I could find a review somewhere. 7.7 out of 10 from GameSpot.
I don't use.
No, I'm just like I was just trying to get kind of the
yeah.
All right. There you go. Those are my pickups.
I'm kind of intrigued by this Bomberman Quest, to be honest.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, and Sonic Blast Man too. Actually, I'll probably try both of these games out. Just to
try the first Sonic Blast Man as well, and let me know how much better the second one is.
Compare and contrast the two. All right, we got to pick a game for next week. What are you in the mood for? Let's go full on JSniperton. Like, what do you want to play, Jay? You got 2 weeks to play a game. What do you want to play?
I need something that's not going to hurt my hands. I could go into my collection app and find a game that I've been wanting to play. Hold on.
Yeah, do that.
Should we let's fine tune it to a system first?
Okay.
We've been doing a lot of SNES.
We have been, but
it's my favorite.
What systems are on the table here? We got to get you a Mister, so you just have every game.
I mean, I have most of the handhelds. I have Genesis, Dreamcast, Game Gear.
Ooh, let's play a Dreamcast game.
There's a couple of Dreamcast games that I don't have on here. I have Skies of Arcadia, Capcom versus SNK. God, what else have I gotten? The ones that I did on the pickups.
Yeah, I can't remember though.
A whole bunch. I haven't put them in my collection app yet.
I mean, Skies of Arcadia is in my top 5 of all time.
That's like an RPG though, right?
It is an RPG. And it's not one of those like quick in and out RPGs. It takes a while. Capcom vs SNK. Why do I always say SNK? SNK is an amazing game. The second one was even better.
I was thinking about if we did a fighting game, I feel like we need to do a more
Street Fighter,
something like that as our first one.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I have been. It does make sense to do Street Fighter before you do Capcom versus SNK, just like progression wise.
And you've been playing Street Fighter a lot.
I have been playing a ton of Street Fighter lately, but Street Fighter 5. I was kind of thinking like Street Fighter 6 is coming out next year, so I thought there'd be like a natural time to add that one in when it's kind of relevant. We could do a SNK fighting game, or we could do Capcom versus SNK. Or what else do you have for Dreamcast?
Mars Matrix, which is another.
I've never played
game.
Mars Matrix.
I think that's a bullet hell game.
Two shooters in a row, though. I don't know if my fragile ego can take it.
Yeah, it's Sonic Adventure.
Okay.
But we did Sonic. We did Sonic already.
Did we do Sonic Adventure?
No, we did the first Sonic.
Okay, I know I've talked about that on a podcast.
Crazy Taxi.
That's a fun one.
Trying to think.
Do you have any of the Resident Evil games on there? Resident Evil is coming out like in a week
or two. I do have. I think I got. No, I got it for PlayStation.
Let's do that. Let's do a PlayStation Resident Evil game. How's that sound?
Okay.
Do you have the first one?
I'll do it.
No, you don't want to?
Maybe me forcing myself to play them will.
Do you not like Resident Evil?
Not typically, no.
Okay, we don't have to do it if you don't want to do it.
But the first 3 or 4 games are quite a bit different, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're not like super scary.
No, they're more campy than anything. Especially the first one. You've never played the first one? Oh, come on, Jay. We got to play the first one. Gotta.
What systems is the first Resident Evil on?
PlayStation, and I'm sure it's on every other system since then in some kind of remake of some form.
Wonder. It's probably, yeah, it was on. That was they had the long box PS1 version, I remember.
Oh, yeah. With that art, that crazy ass art.
The dude with the gun, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. We're going to finally play with Jill, the master of unlocking again. It's your time, Jill. It's your time in the sun.
So I'm so excited. We'll come back to an SNES game that I'm really excited about another week because we've been doing a lot of SNES. I'm totally cool with doing something different.
Okay. Oh yeah, I totally hijacked that. We were supposed to do a game you were excited about, and we totally hijacked it to a game that you don't even like.
It's all good. Well, we did Super Mario RPG, we've done Punch Out, we've done all this stuff. You can play Resident Evil 1 on the Switch. Wait, is that the same game? It's updated though.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. It's like kind of like a remake where they allow you to have like a bigger inventory and stuff like that, I think.
Trying to figure out where you can play the original Resident Evil.
Oh, I thought you had one. I thought you had a copy.
No, I do, but PlayStation, because PS5 can't play PlayStation 1 games, right?
No. And you don't have an original PlayStation?
I have a PlayStation 2 that can probably play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if we need to call an audible, we can do that.
No, I can definitely figure it out. Either way, I'm just trying to think of like what the best. Does it really matter?
No. I don't think it really matters. Whatever way is easiest to play it.
Play the first Resident
I'll probably play it on an emulator because I don't have a copy. I'll go to my local game store. If they have a copy, I'll buy it. I'm not going to order it, though.
I don't think it's a super expensive game. If you get the long box version, it is, though.
I don't want that. My biggest problem with buying PlayStation games is they're always scratched to shit.
Yeah. I So our local store, actually, I guess Resident Evil is like $85 in box and gone up recently. Jesus.
Wait, Resident Evil 1 is $85?
I think it might be the jewel case complete with manual. Disc only is like 35, 40.
What?
Yeah.
What craziness is that? All
Gone
right,
up. It's gone
I'll
up
be
a lot
playing that
recently.
on an emulator. So I'll be playing it at 4K probably then. That's what that means. Maybe I'll check out the Switch version, like the new updated one.
I was gonna say, like, I'm wondering if it's not too much different than the original. Doesn't really say. It just it's now in HD. Well, yeah, I gotta look up to see if it's much different. If it's much different than the original, maybe I'll play the original just to kind of like get a sense for it, and then maybe actually play through it a little bit on the Switch or something like that.
Yeah, I think they did just like they updated the graphics a little bit. I mean, it's still like looks like polygons from PlayStation 1, but it's higher res, and I think they did like some quality of life stuff. Like the puzzles make a little more sense, and the inventory is a little easier to manage and stuff like that. Which I think you still get the gist of the game. Yeah.
I'm not even 100% sure if I own the first one for PlayStation. I have to check. I know I have like 2 and 3 for both PlayStation and Dreamcast, but I have a box of discs right down here that I haven't even gone through yet. That's been sitting there for a year.
Do they have did they ever come out with a version for the Dreamcast of the first one?
The first one, I don't think so, but there's 2 and 3 in Veronica X or something. Now I'm wondering. No, so first one's on GameCube, PlayStation, Saturn.
Saturn?
And then, Sega Saturn.
Oh, man, I should play on the Saturn. That'd be kind of fun.
And then Resident Evil 2 was on GameCube. Gamecom. Resident Evil 2. I owned a Gamecom, by the way. I don't know if we've told that story. Sega Dreamcast, yeah.
I think I'm going to play it on Saturn because I have an optical disc emulator in my Saturn. So I can just boot it up and start playing. So that's where I'm going to play it, on Saturn.
I'll figure it out. I'll get a nice, clean PlayStation copy if I don't have one.
Yeah.
Or GameCube, I guess. Because it's much cheaper on GameCube.
Is it?
Like
I don't have a GameCube.
$25
I gotta get a GameCube.
Yeah, maybe our next episode I might have a new pickup with a GameCube in box. We'll see if it ships. Yeah,
the whole box with all the instruction manuals.
Hopefully, there wasn't very good pictures. I like to take risks on eBay auctions sometimes because I read the descriptions, and it said GameCube lightly used in box, and I literally saw the plastic through the little hole. So I was like, it's got the plastic stuff, which means it might have the manuals, and then it came with a Wavebird controller and a disc-only copy of Melee for like a good price. So I was like, all right, I'll take a shot on it.
Is Melee expensive?
$50 or so.
All right. Yeah, kids don't have a lot of money to spend, so it can't get too expensive, right?
There's just so many copies of it, dude. It's the only reason why that hasn't gone up much. So Resident Evil 1. For those that have it or want to play it with us.
Yeah,
play along at home.
About it in 2 weeks.
And if anybody had any opinions on UN Squadron, let us know on social media, like what you think of Briar's opinion on the game.
Right, unless you agree with Jay, and then keep your opinion to yourself. All right, I think that's gonna wrap this one up. Good show, man. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to playing some Resident Evil now. I'm like really looking forward to this. When's the new one come out? Before we wrap this up, when's Resident Evil Village come out? I bet this is the most compelling podcast content is when I'm
May 7th.
May 7th. So it's like right around the corner.
Actually, you know what? I just thought of something. You know what would have been a better thing to play? Well,
what's that?
Pokemon Snap. And I actually forgot a pickup.
Would Pokemon Snap?
I was like,
when's Pokemon Snap 2 come out?
It's like the last day of the month, like less than 2 weeks.
It comes out this month?
May.
Maybe we should pull Audible then and play that game, April and then play Resident Evil next time. You want to do that? You want to play Pokemon Snap
this time,
and then
do you have? I have an extra copy of Pokemon Snap in shitty condition, Briar.
Yeah,
it's expensive.
You said shitty condition, and that's just how I like them.
Yeah, it's rough. This was supposed to be an upgrade, but they sent me the wrong thing, so they're actually giving me an eBay discount. It's like all crushed. So they sent me the wrong game, the wrong copy that they had.
Okay, I've never played this game, and this is actually pretty interesting. So I'd like to do this. So we're pulling an audible, last second audible. We're going Pokemon Snap, and then we're doing Resident Evil
because it's more
next episode.
It seems better for the scheduling, right?
Yeah, it seems topical, right?
This next podcast, I mean, like next podcast is the 4th, and you said it comes out the 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
we should have done Pokemon Snap
last week.
Yeah,
but fuck it. It just doesn't like UN Squadron.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. I want to play Pokemon Snap. I've never played it.
All right, it's good and relaxing and fun.
Okay, I could go use good and relaxing and
fun
on
your favorite system.
Yeah,
on your favorite system.
Yeah. Actually, it looks phenomenal when you run it through a PC emulator. Like it's unbelievably good. Like
really?
Yeah. You'd be surprised. I actually play a good amount of Mario Golf on my PC. Mario Golf for the N64 on my PC.
Really?
Yeah, it's my go-to. Like I just need to chill for a half an hour game.
Nice.
And it, 4K. The textures all look terrible, but I mean, it's the same game, but it's running at 4K. It's great. All right, where can people find you, Jay, for the next 2 weeks? What are you up to?
Twitter and YouTube at JSniperton. I stream lots of Destiny, but I'm gonna try to maybe make the second half of streams on Monday, at least every other Monday, be retro stuff because it was nice playing UN Squadron on stream.
Yeah, that's cool.
And yeah, just one day at a time, living life. How about you, Briar?
Same. You can find me on Twitter at the Briar Rabbit. On YouTube, I'll be posting a review soon of the 8BitDo Pro 2 controller. It's going to be a good review. I mean, I like it. I mean, it's not the review's going to be good, but the controller, you get it. Just check it out on YouTube.
Some foreshadowing there.
Yeah, and we'll be playing some Pokemon Snipe over the next 2 weeks. That's going to be really fun. I've never played this game. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for watching. Make sure to follow all the other DCP podcasts, DCP affiliated podcasts, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye, Pokemon Snap.